Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Mental Moms podcast. This is our official first episode. We did previously record an episode, but we had a few bumps in the road with some ladies we intended on doing the podcast with. But now you've just got me, Kat, and Rhiannon.
Hey y'all.
We're super happy to be doing this together. After probably a few weeks of planning this out and talking about it, we realized we're both very dedicated to this and passionate about doing this. And we're just super excited. And we're sorry that, we've kind of been, switching around with the ladies who are supposed to be a part of. It's all love, it's all good. But we're here now and we're super happy. And we just kind of wanted to redo our intro in a little bit more of an organized way, introduce ourselves one more time for you because the other episode was deleted. And yeah, so we want to tell you about ourselves, why we decided to make this podcast, what we want to put out there in the world on this podcast, and just what our intentions are. So, Rhiannon, you want to tell us about yourself?
Hey, I'm Rhiannon, and I am the creator of the Mental Moms. I created a blog a few years ago with the intention of it being about struggling with mental health while also being a parent because I struggle. I have bipolar disorder and a borderline personality disorder. So I just know that's a really hard struggle to do when you're a parent. So I started the blog and I was writing a lot and it was going good. And then I needed money. So I started to do freelance writing on the side and I got really burnt out on writing. So I didn't really create content on my website anymore. It's still there. I'm still going to try to get back to it. But right now it's just on pause. But I still really wanted to get the message out there and support for other mothers and other families that are struggling with their mental health. And so I created the podcast and I post on Facebook. Who wants to start a podcast with me? And a few girls messaged me, and Kat is the one and only one that stuck around and is dedicated to it. And I'm so thankful for her. I'm Rhiannon, and I'm a single mom with 2 kids. I love writing, I love reading, I love dancing. I figure skate on the side, for fun. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell. And what about you, Kat? Tell me about you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And I wanted to say, I recently saw a video of you ice skating, and I have always been so jealous of that ability. I've never been ice skating before, but I think it's one of the cutest things, just looking at it, gliding over the ice, girl, teach me, please.
I will definitely teach you if we're in the same state. But
We will. We're gonna manifest that.
yes, it'd be awesome to be able to do an episode together, in person.
Oh yeah. You know what? We're gonna manifest that happening. You're gonna come here. I'm gonna go there. We're gonna get to the point where we can travel to each other. We gotta manifest. So I'm Kat. I am a 26-year-old woman and a mother to a 5-year-old little boy. I also struggle with my mental health, and I don't really like to discuss my diagnosis, just it's something personal to me. But I will discuss the symptoms of those diagnoses and just talk about the struggles that come along with that and things like that. I have no problem talking about. I just feel like for me, I'm a little bit of a private person. Maybe as time goes on, I'll get more comfortable. That's kind of why I wanted to do this, is kind of just learn more about mental health and spread awareness and let other moms know you're not the only one struggling and we're all out here. I work a lot. That's kind of what my life consists of, and being a mom. I do live in Florida, so my favorite thing is the beach, typical Floridian. But I genuinely love being in the sun. I love being in the water and doing that kind of thing, I do love to read and I do love listening to podcasts. So that's where we're at.
Is there like a lot of like alligators in Florida? Like, have you seen them?
There are alligators probably in every body of water that you go near. It's not as common to see them where I live, but I will say, like, I just bought a house a year ago, and in an apartment complex that we lived in, we had like a couple lakes. And the week that we moved out, we got an email because we still was technically like renting the apartment that week. And we got an email saying, please stay indoors. There has been an alligator sighting walking in the neighborhood. I mean, thank God, like we never like went in person with one, but it happens a lot, a lot. So yeah, I mean, that's me. I'm not really like, I'm not gonna say I'm not a super interesting person, but motherhood has really taken over. And I feel like every mom can relate to that is like your life consists of working and providing and then kids. There is more to me, but this podcast is about moms and about mental health and how all of that is intertwined. So I'm super happy to be talking with you. My friend from many, many, many years ago, I wanted to talk about that too. Like how we met and our history, because I feel like that is important to know. It's not just like, oh, we met on Facebook. Like we reconnected through Facebook, but we knew each other from what did we say?
Eighth grade.
Probably
It was
eighth
eighth
grade.
grade. I'm 1,000% sure it was eighth grade. I
Okay.
think.
I trust that. Eighth grade, that's how we met. One of the bestest friends I ever had. And we had so much fun together. I moved away, and at that time, like, I don't know, I didn't have a phone. Like, our lives were completely different, you know? I was, I grew up in a very, like, poor, toxic environment, and so it was really hard for us to stay connected.
I really missed you whenever you left. Like, you were literally like, because I went from having you, and we would literally spend like every single day, like right after school, you were with me throughout the weekend. You were with me. Um, like we were together literally all the time, um, and then I went into high school without you, and that shit was terrifying. It was so weird, like going in with that, like no one to like you're like my only real friend I had. So going into high school alone was definitely interesting.
Yeah, I know. Girl, it was, I think the worst years for me were middle school, but they got better in eighth grade. I feel like when I met you, like I made like a real friend, you know, but from like sixth and seventh grade, I was like jumping from school to school, from Virginia to Texas, and I went to get to Texas, girl. It was like bullies and toxic. Yeah, I felt like we spent so much time together, but at some points you were like, oh my God, can this girl go? No matter how many years went by, it was never like we had like a big blowout and we stopped talking. It was literally just the fact that I moved across the world to a whole nother state. And when you're so young, it's so hard to keep in contact. Like so much. Is there anything from that time you want to talk about that you remember?
Like I remember I used to tell you all the time whenever like I did get a chance to talk to you after you left, I used to be like, I'm gonna dig a tunnel from here to Virginia and like I'm gonna go see you. I don't care. Because I missed you so much. But and like we got to spend the summer together even. Like you got to stay with me during the summer before high school. And that was really fun. Keeping her all summer and then we had to send her back, sadly. I wanted to keep her.
Girl, same girl. That was a memory of mine that like one of my favorite memories of us, but also remind me what it was. We talked about it in the previous episode. It was like Oklahoma. It was like a lake park. I don't know what it was. Remind me what that is.
It's called Turner Falls in Oklahoma.
That was so much fun. Like, you know how you have certain memories like of your childhood, like good, like core memories. That's something you'll never, girl. No matter how much time passes by, I don't know why that plays with you. I had so much fun. Like the best freaking time. And it's not like I had a specific, like, I don't exactly remember like what we did. I just know it, I just remember that feeling of like happiness and like having a freaking just like a awesome time. And I remember like I was so scared to jump off that cliff and I did it. Do you remember that? Oh my God, I swear I had like a freaking bruise and oh my God, but it was so fun. It was honestly like the best time. The best time. Yeah. It was like a full circle moment of like growing up and being a kid with you. And like we go so many years and like we've had each other on social media, you know what I mean? So it's not like I've kind of kept up with your life as much as you put on social media and I don't really put that much on social media, but I mean what I do put, I'm sure you see when I do put it on.
I watched you. I watched like your pregnancy, and I was like, oh my God. I watched your sister's life, and like I've seen it all, and it's just like amazing.
So let's talk about our intentions for the podcast. Like what kind of content are we going to put out? What our intentions are for it? Just anything that you intend for this platform.
All right. So for the podcast, for the remainder of the podcast, and this is our first episode, but what you can expect from us in the future is we're going to talk a lot about like relationships and family and generational trauma and parenting, a lot of parenting, and definitely like while struggling. Maybe talk about our diagnosis stories, like not the diagnosis itself, but like talk about what led to that diagnosis. Um, and we're just gonna talk, and we might have a few guests here and there talk about their experience because everyone's experience is different with different things. I don't want to just talk about bipolar and borderline or just depression and anxiety because there's so much more out there that I would never know about. Yeah, that's the goal for me. Anything you want to add?
No, I mean pretty much everything you said. 100% agree. Um, that's what we intend to do. But more so like on a level of like personal level. Like I just hope that maybe we can be like an example or someone you can relate to as parents, you know, who have mental illness and things that you struggle with. Like you're not alone. But I also want to be an example of like it will be okay. There's another side to it. It's an ongoing, forever process, but it will be okay. And we're on the journey together. I wanted to read something. Like maybe this can be like a thing, like some like inspirational quotes that we do. Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you know who Doc Amen
No, I have no
is?
idea.
Okay. So he is a brain psychologist and I follow him on Instagram and I want you to start following him. I'm going to share his page with you because that's something I want to discuss. He has like a different perspective on mental health and how people like how he deals with it with his patients and things like that. But there's like a really interesting quote, something he's like putting out there, and I agree with it. And I think it could be very helpful to people. It says, where you bring your attention determines how you feel. If you focus on loss, you will feel grief. If you focus on fear, you will feel afraid. If you focus on being belittled, you will feel small. If you focus on those who have hurt you, you will feel angry. If you focus on sadness, negativity, and fear, you will feel depressed, negative, and afraid. If you focus on gratitude, you will feel grateful. If you focus on those who love you will feel loved. If you focus on those you love, you will feel loving. If you focus on the times you have felt joy, you will feel joyful. If you focus on happy times, positivity, and what you're looking forward to, you will feel happy, more positive, and excited. When you train your mind, you get to choose how you feel. So that was Doc Amen. For anyone who wants to learn more about your brain health, which is mental health at the end of the day, because mental health is brain health. And he's got like 1 million degrees and 1 million followers, and like so many people have been helped by him. And I like seeing the things that he posts, and I just wanted to put that out. It was, in summary, from what I take from that, is like, we have control over how we're gonna feel, you know? What we focus on is what we're gonna feel, so take that how you will. I just felt that was really helpful for me, and I loved it. So I wanted to put that out there in the world. Maybe we'll have like a quote of the day, like we'll see something that we really love or it helped us, and we'll share it with you guys.
All right, y'all. So that's the end of the first episode, and we really love talking to y'all and talking to each other and getting back in touch with each other. It's really great, and starting the podcast and sharing it with everyone. And I hope that you guys can relate to us and listen to us and share with us. We do have a website. If you go to any of our social media, it's at the Mental Moms podcast on most social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you go on there, we have a Linktree link in our bio, and you can find our individual social media links and links to the podcast and links to the blog and everything else that you want to connect to. So yeah, that's us.
Thank you for listening, everyone. And we have a lot coming, so stay tuned.